Hi guys. Hello, welcome. Hi guys. Happy Sunday. Let me know how you guys have been, where you're from. Hi guys, welcome. We're going to have Debbie on today, Debbie Solaris. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me know how you've been, where you're from. Hello. Hi.
Hey, it's great to be on here finally. Had
Yes.
some
How
scheduling issues there for a while, but I think we worked it all out.
we navigated. Yes. How are you? Good morning. Thank you for joining us so early.
Yeah, no worries. No, this actually I get up usually at 5 a.m., so this
Oh,
isn't
there you
early
go.
for
Yeah,
me.
I also tend to get up quite early. Do you want to maybe just introduce yourself for the people who don't know you, don't know who you are? Just maybe give a brief introduction.
Absolutely. Yes. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Debbie Solaris. I'm a galactic historian, a Akashic Records channeler, and an ET contactee. And I think I've been around for a while, but I think most people probably know me from Gaia TV because I've been on their shows a few times, and I'm also connected with Portal to Ascension and Star Codes, and just a lot of the the portals that we're all part of at this time, but I'm mostly known for Galactic Akashic Records, so I think that's where most people kind of connect me with. So thank you for allowing me this introduction. And I'm always excited to connect with you because I feel like you and I really vibe together, and we're just star sisters, and
Yeah,
we're all trying to
definitely.
accomplish. Yeah, we're all trying to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. So Debbie will be talking at the Galactic Conference, which is happening in 2 days, like we almost there, on
Yeah.
the 1111 portal of remembrance. So do you have anything in specific that you want to share that you will talk about? Also, it's fine if you don't have anything yet as well, because it was interesting. I had a live with Tony a few days ago, and we were both saying, like, I still don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like, I'll probably just know on the day, but if you have a general outline or something you would like to share, or even something with regards to the 1111 portal.
Well, most likely what I'll be talking about, and I'm kind of just going with the flow, I think, like everybody else right now, but just how to make those connections, how to make those galactic connections, what's required to do that, what does it look like, what frame of mind do we need to be, or what, vibration we need to aspire to be able to make those higher level connections, whether it be with ETs or higher dimensional beings, that sort of thing. So for me, that's the question I get a lot from people is, how do I connect? How do I connect with my guides, my star family, my star lineage? Those are probably the questions I get the most. So
Yeah.
that's the message I'm going to be focusing on because I'm just trying to help as many people as possible have those connections because they are life changing, as you know, and I know, and so that's pretty much where I'm at, and what I'll be talking about.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing that. And it's so needed. I think, a lot of people, especially as the vibrational frequency of the planet keeps like rising so exponentially, like they're having information, they're having things come through, but they're struggling to like ground it, to anchor it in like the practical side. What do I actually need to do? In order to harness, this connection, this power, this understanding, even this alignment that I have with, my galactic brothers and sisters, my higher version of self. Like, how do I anchor into that space in a way that allows me to also be integrated within the 3D. And I think this is where people like you and me bridge. You know, people like us, this is what we do. We're here to bridge this gap, you know, because we've kind of figured it out in our own way, you know, and it works. And so we're like, okay, guys, this is what we've learned. This is what we figured out. This is what we're still learning. But in the meantime, you know, here are some tools, basically.
And it's not as hard or as complicated as people seem to make it out to be. I mean, it's mainly, I think, just connecting with ourselves and really getting centered. And so I know this is super boring. I mean, people hate when I tell them this, but I mean, the main way is just to have a regular meditation practice. I mean, whatever practice you do that, connects you with yourself and enables you to get really, really deep. The other thing that I think really assists in making those higher connections is being of service to others. Again, kind of sounds boring, but it really isn't. I mean, because you could get super creative with that, So, in my case, I think one of the reasons why, I did end up having an ET contact, not that I ever asked for one or wanted one, at the time, but was because I spent 6 years working as part of an animal-assisted therapy team. So I did a lot of volunteer work for 6 years. I didn't get paid for it. So I had a therapy animal, and she and I were a team, and we visited nursing homes and schools, schools especially for the disabled and uh, people with mental disabilities, also the military. So we did a lot of work with the American Red Cross and some of the military bases, so that was something I did, just because I wanted to be of service to the community. And I do think higher dimensional energies and beings do take note of that, so whatever you can do, um, to connect, that would be one of the main ways to do that. And it's not hard. I mean, it doesn't have to be animal assisted therapy. It could be just as simple as, maybe working at a food bank or, anything really. That's one way. And then I would say too, just keeping your vibration high, whatever you need to do that. I know that sounds also very basic, but like just, going out in nature or, doing some self-care or whatever it is that, really, keeps you in that, great energy. Just being around people like us,
Yeah,
for the
literally.
conference. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah. And then, and, and this is something I mentioned in the other lives as well. Like, guys, once you get a ticket to this conference, it's almost like you're making a conscious decision of stepping into this higher version of yourself. Like you've already anchored into that timeline where you're choosing to shift. You're making the decision, you're taking aligned action in the direction that is, for your highest vibrational frequency. So it's really like that simple, and watch like your timeline shift. Exactly, like beautiful, all the tools that you mentioned as well. I think for me, for example, like I find a lot of kind of like quietness and stillness in things like exercising or things that are creative, that bring me
mhm.
back to like my inner child. Like it's so funny because like people always make fun of me because I have a new like I change like a creative hobby every like few months. So like some days it'll be like coloring in like kiddies coloring books. Some days it'll be like making like 3D puzzles, like something with my hands. And then yeah, so it's very interesting, like following really that part of you that really makes your heart happy. And definitely, yeah, being of service to others, whatever that means for you. It can be as simple as like buying flowers for a stranger. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Doing like
Exactly.
an act of selflessness. It's like coming from a space of unconditional love. And the more you anchor into that baseline vibrational frequency, the more it anchors in you, the easier it will be to connect to your guides or higher versions of self, because it really comes from, that purity and that essence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. One of the things I got into lately, and this is so silly, but uh, I had this issue with, you use candles and then you get this nice little container and then you have to throw it out because the candle was all gone. Well, I got into candle making, just reusing, some of the containers I already had. And even that, I think just brings me joy. And I don't know, then you can give them away or gift them to other
It's so funny
people,
that you mentioned that. I ordered for the first time a candle making kit last week.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. You
I've
and I are
never done
so on
it
the
before.
same vibe. We are so on the same.
It's so random and aligned. Like we were obviously picking up something because I was like,
Exactly.
I was making it like a Christmas order online for gifts for other people,
Yeah.
and I didn't order candles making for anyone, and it just popped up, and I'm like, that looks actually like a lot of fun, even like to do with my 5-year-old, and then I can gift them away or use them,
Oh,
or
yeah,
just
absolutely.
learn. And so I ordered it, and it's so funny that you because never in my life, like this is the first time in my life I'm ordering that and doing it. So that's just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, me too. And then I had this brilliant idea of let me get scents together that are aligned with certain star lineages, and
There
I'll
you
make
go, yeah.
starseed candles, and I don't know, I was just going crazy with it, but just anything that, you can do to just bring joy to other people's lives or your lives, is really, really super important. And somebody was asking here about Arcturians. I was just looking at some of the questions. So that was the race I actually first connected with when I had my extraterrestrial contact back in 2012 was the Arcturians, because that's my star lineage. Um, and yes, it is life changing. I mean, it is. And then I've had people ask me, like, why you? And I said, I don't know. Why me? I don't know why that happened to me. I was the least likeliest person, to ever have that kind of experience. But I have to say, it was extremely life changing. I mean, I was not the same person.
Do you want to share a little bit about the experience and what happened?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry if it's a little dark in here.
No, my light's also going on and off.
Yeah, it's like super dark. So I thought I came in here because usually my office is really dark, and I thought, oh yeah, the kitchen. This is kind of
No, but we can
nice.
see you okay. We can see you
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
okay. As
yeah.
long as you guys can see me, that's the important thing. But so back in, I was basically very unawakened for probably most of my life. I wasn't interested in metaphysical things. I was just trying to live my life. I'm a Navy veteran, so I was in the U.S. Navy for 6 years. And then after that, I worked a number of years for in environmental science, so very 3D kind of job, so I worked for the county health department. And and so I just wasn't, I was just trying to live life, I was just trying to pay my bills, basically. But then I had an extraordinary experience in 2012. It was May of 2012. I went to sleep, and when I came to, I was in this alternate reality, where I knew I was not in the same place that, I was before. And then I looked around and I noticed that I was on some sort of a starcraft. So I watched enough sci-fi movies to kind of know what one would look like, but it wasn't metallic. That was the thing that threw me off, was that, usually you watch Star Wars or Star Trek, and, the ships always look really metallic, or like it was made, like constructed by humans. This didn't look like that. It was completely like light and plasma,
Wow.
it was amazing. I mean, I've never seen technology like that. And so the ship was, I could tell the ship was sentient because it was guiding me towards space. And so I just kind of followed along. And then I found myself in this large room with these extraterrestrial beings that told me a little later that they were Arcturians from Arcturus. And I had never heard of that before. My mind was blown. I don't even think I had time to be scared,
I
because
have goosebumps everywhere as you're saying that.
yeah, I know. I don't even think I had time to be scared, because I was just like, like, what the heck is going on? I'm trying to process, at the same time. And these Arcturian beings were telepathically communicating with me, so I didn't even have to figure out how to talk to them verbally because they were picking up on my thoughts. Even
Mm.
before I was able to finish the questions that I had, they were answering my questions. And so basically, I did ask them, where am I? Who are you? What is this? I mean, the usual questions. And, they told me they were Arcturians from Arcturus and that they, they heard a prayer that I had sent off a few days ago asking for help for the planet, and they were moved by my prayer.
Oh,
And so they're tuned into our consciousness, so even if it's just like one person or, a whole group of people, they are totally tuned in. Especially if we're, having the desire to help, a group of people, you know what I'm saying? So, and so I asked him, why me? Because, I'm nobody special. I'm just just a lowly environmental health specialist from, Colorado Springs, Colorado, so they told me it was because they heard my prayer and also because I was part of their soul group. I was part of their family. And I had come for a mission, but I had forgotten my mission. And it was, they wanted to remind me why I came to Earth. And that was mind blowing for me. I was just like, well, that, wow,
how do you come back from that? Like, how do
I
you go
know
back to
I
the
was,
3D? Like,
girl, it was hard coming back from that. I felt like I spent months on board the ship, even though it was just like a few hours maybe in our time, in our linear time. Uh, and they told me a lot about what's going on Earth, that everything was kind of 3D is kind of like this artificial matrix construct, and everything is an illusion. And I didn't quite understand that at the time, but and they told me, that religion is man-made and government is man-made. They're not the true authorities. That the true authority is source energy. I did ask them, about religion, and they said we don't have a religion. We have a direct connection with source. So that kind of blew my mind because I was raised Roman Catholic. And then uh, they told me a lot of things about my ancestry, and that I have extraterrestrial genetics, from my Earth ancestry, which also blew my mind. And so I went through that experience, and just because we are limited in time, I'm going to end the story by saying that I woke up the next day a completely changed person. Where I knew my life had changed and it was never ever going to be the same again. And honestly, it was hard to reintegrate into the 3D.
yeah,
Yeah, it was really,
yeah,
I went through months of depression
yeah.
and so it was really, really hard. Because once you're in those higher
I
dimensions,
understand. Yeah,
yeah.
I had a similar experience that was quite intense. Mine was in 2017,
Hmm.
and mine it was a bit different, but it took me a few months also to be okay back in the 3D. Like mine was like I had quite a negative encounter. So like when I came back, mine was more like, okay, like I'm paranoid, like what's going on, like what is real, what is not real, like sort of thing. And then you kind of settle in and level in and anchor back in. But I know what you mean. Like it takes a very strong mind to, I mean, obviously they wouldn't go to someone who doesn't have a strong mind, but you know what I mean? Like some people struggle to actually then function and be back in the 3D when they have these intense experiences.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it is quite an adjustment. It's similar to going through like what people that have NDEs, which is near death
Yeah. Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, it's very, very, very similar to that. Yeah, I was depressed for months. I would cry every time I was driving to work, I was crying. I didn't want to be here. I was just, going through all that. And then, I had to come to terms with the fact that, yes, they sent me back for a reason. And probably because I wanted to come back also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we chose to
You
be here.
choose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we chose to be here. I get a lot of star seeds, so I have a lot of clients. So I still do readings, but so a lot of people ask me, do you still do readings? I say, yes, I still do readings, but my schedule is so busy, I can't do as many as I used to do. And I have over 3,000 people on my wait list, so I can't take on any more new people. But we do honor the wait list, just to let folks that are on the wait list know that we are honoring that. But I have clients that tell me all the time, like, I don't know why I chose to be here, or I don't really want to be here. And I say,
Yeah,
well,
people struggle. They struggle. I see it a lot as well. Like for me, listen, I love it here. I love being human. I will still come back after this lifetime because I enjoy the earth. But
yeah,
it hasn't always been like this. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think once you come to like a certain kind of like peace and understanding within you, and this is what I always say to my clients as well, like you can have choice. If in this lifetime you work enough, you clear your karmic cycles, you get into a balance, then you can choose to leave. So I think working towards that, if you don't really, really don't want to be here, but from my understanding and what I've also channeled, like a lot of beings out there, they're like, guys, like Earth is actually great. It's a great like learning experience. It's beautiful. You guys can like experience, like all these types of like foods and flavors and like all these emotions and things that you move through. Like, yes, obviously beings that live in high vibrational frequency spaces like have already gone through these lessons, but like yeah, I think even up there they're like you lucky to be here, especially at this time.
yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I feel very honored and very blessed to be here. It's just, I, I'm just so grateful that, my health is good. And, I have little struggles here and there, like, because I'm a boomer, so so once you get past the age of 50, things are not the same. But for the most part, I would say compared to a lot of people, my health is really, really good, and I'm just really happy and blessed. So I'm very, very happy to be here and to be of service, and to help everybody else, with this ascension process that we're all undergoing right now. So and I love it when I can collaborate with people like you and Sarah Brexman Cosme and Debbie Dashinger and Neil Gar, and I mean just all the great folks that are just trying to help, and be of
Yeah.
be of service.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So, guys, like Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, tickets are on sale. You can find it on galacticconference.com, on my bio, on Debbie's bio as well. And tickets are $55. The sales will be available until the event happens. Recordings are available for who's bought the ticket. We will not have ticket sales or recordings after the event. So, please, if you want to join, like you need to get a ticket beforehand. The nice thing is that we're going to have a 10-minute Q&A with each individual speaker, so you guys can get to ask questions. And then we collaborating with Portal to Ascension, Neil Gar, Conscious Life Expo, and also Galactic Federation of Light Apparel. So it's going to be really powerful. There's going to be a lot of activations, a lot of codes, a lot coming through. So yeah, like thank you so much for joining, Debbie. Is there anything else you would like to
Uh,
share or add before I close?
no, I'm just excited for Tuesday. And
Amazing. So
yeah, I know.
wonderful.
I'm just ready to get going and get this ascension train on the road, back on the road again. So
Wonderful.
yeah, and everybody, if you get a chance, this is I've had like people that told me that they normally don't join in on these online things, join in on this particular one with Althea because they just get such a good feeling from all of us that are going to be speaking. And so, check it out, if you get a
Yeah,
chance. I hope to see
yeah.
you there. But Althea, thank you again for having me and for working with my
Pleasure.
schedule.
It's a
It means a
pleasure.
lot.
Of course, of course. Thank you for, choosing to connect. Thank you for all your wisdom, and I look forward to listening to your talk on Tuesday.
All
Thank
right.
you
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank you for
everybody.
joining. Bye.
Bye bye.